Tessa. I am here with Shemaine Davis, and we're currently talking about the Wedding Expo 2014. Shemaine and I are part of the Wedding Expo committee, and we're going to give you a brief, a little tidbit about what's going on for Wedding Expo from the beginning to the ending.
Right. So everybody know that Wedding Expo is an annual event, and Wedding Expo basically started in 2009. I think a group of us, we went to Jamaica, and we saw that Jamaica was promoting tourism, promoting wedding tourism. And in promoting wedding tourism, they started to do the wedding exposition. And when we came back to Guyana, we thought it would be really great. Why isn't Guyana marketing not just tourism, but marketing weddings? Why aren't we promoting ourselves to the diaspora? And so Rorime Airways launched the first Wedding Expo in 2009. And the idea behind the Wedding Expo for us was to promote small businesses. In 2009, when we started with persons who were making cakes inside of their homes and looking for the opportunity to be able to promote themselves. So we had Karen Cakes, who starts with us, and Karen was making cakes from our house. And when Karen came on board with us to have a booth, it was remarkably amount of business that she got. But we also had some of the big companies who came on board with us. So we had King's Jewelry, we had a lot of the designers and so on. So the idea was to promote small businesses in collaboration with a lot of the big companies. And at the same time promoting Guyana, of course, as a wedding destination. So Wedding Expo has come a very long way. Today it's now 6 years that we're hosting the Wedding Expo, and the Wedding Expo is done at Duke Lodge. So this year it's going to be from March 20th to the 30th.
Correct.
Last year we started to jazz the Wedding Expo up to make it a lot more exciting. And so last year we started a new project where we had a live wedding at Duke Lodge. And the idea and the concept behind it is to have a reality show. And we started a little late, but the reality show, the concept was basically for us to give a lucky couple an all-expense paid wedding. So Roraima collaborated with the Ministry of Tourism and the Guyana Tourism Authority, as well as the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and other private sector persons to give a lucky couple a free wedding. And so we sent out applications, and we had persons from Berbice, we had persons from Essequibo, we had a lot of persons from Georgetown, of course, so we had 15 couples that applied. And the 15 couples that applied, we narrowed it down to a selection of 5 couples. And we closed off the applications, we picked the 5 couples, and we took them through a test of their endurance, a test of their compatibility. And so we took them to Arrow Point, and we did lots of activities. We did a lot of kayaking, biking, we did running through the trails and so on. And to see how they operate as a couple, how they connect with each other, how they operate in a different environment.
How they go through challenges together.
Correct. So it was a test for them to see how do they test this love, how do they sustain and keep this marriage going and this relationship going. And then we took them on an aerial tour. We had them on a number of TV programs, television programs, to basically allow the public to be able to see who is it they could vote for. Last year we had GT&T who was on board with us, so persons were able to vote for the couple of their choice. And it really was an exciting period for the Wedding Expo.
Good. And you're also doing that this year?
Yes, we are. We've actually closed off our application process, you know, and we've interviewed our couples. We had 9 couples this year, and we've shortlisted our 5, which we will announce tonight at our Valentine's dinner at Duke Lodge. So it's going to be very exciting. And in announcing our 5, tomorrow we're taking them to Arrow Point again.
And we don't have the typical couple.
Correct.
We don't have the we have one of the now 21, now fall in love, and want to spend the rest of their life with each other. And we also have the Guyanese typical couple.
It's a combination. So you don't have to just be young to apply and now be dating each other. The idea is basically to have a diversity of couples, and which is what we have. We have a great dynamic of couples. So when you look at the video and you see the couples for yourself, you'll see the diversity and the dynamics of things, which is really great. And it tells us that we hear the real stories.
Correct.
And we're able to judge and see how they deal with these challenges.
Yeah.
During the courting time, how they've come to decision that yes, this is the one for me, and promoting marriages and promoting Guyana at the same time to the world to say, listen, we're here to promote Guyana not just as agro-tourism and eco-tourism and so on, but we are saying come to Guyana and get married, whether it be at Kaichor, whether it be at Bagadar, whether it be at Arrow Point, and wherever it is, we have all the necessary
facilities,
right.
Yes.
We have all the facilities. We offer the same thing. We have the local designers like Olympia Small. You have KNY Party Rental, and they do a great job of designing wedding gowns. And so we are inviting not just the diaspora but persons to look to Guyana as a tourism destination in South America. So.
Yes, and we've done some interviews. We
Right.
have done the shortlist 5. Let's talk about what are some of the characters we've met. We're going to show actually some of the couples. We're going to show the couples, but tell us how you felt about sitting in the background and listening to these couples.
Well, as you know, it's the race to the odds, and it really is. We had a panel, a Wedding Expo panel, and we had the cameras rolling.
Yes.
And
Candid questions.
Yes, we were able to interview the couples together, and then we did them one after the other. So we sent the guy out and we interviewed
Yes.
the girl, and we asked questions to talk about it.
At one moment, I was as Mr. Gavai was asking one of the guys to leave, he looked back at his fiance. He's like, "Don't say anything."
I know.
We saw
I think
that.
it was a test to see. They were thinking
How much they knew each
how much
other.
they knew
Yeah.
about each other, and I think that was. We had some couples that really knew each other. I mean, completely.
To the T, yeah.
Their favorite color, what they like to eat, and so on. And so they were in sync on that.
Correct.
And it was funny to hear some of the stories, some of the challenges
They went through and
yes.
still are going through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a race to the engagement. Now it's a race to the altar.
Correct. So I think for them it's exciting, but it's also they're nervous.
Yeah, and they should.
yeah.
As everybody would
Right.
be. You're
I mean,
on television is one, and then you're going to get married.
and hoping that you don't say the wrong things about the stories. And
Yes.
I think, as women, we're very touchy about certain things
yes.
and how you express yourself.
And men just say
Yeah.
what they need to say.
we had some really candid moments.
Yeah, and you guys will see some of those candid moments.
So it's really exciting, and to get the public to view these couples
Yeah.
in their natural state and to hear actually what these real stories are.
Yes.
Is what makes the whole race to the altar a lot more exciting. And we're taking them even to Arrow Point this weekend.
Yes,
So-
that's gonna be a long day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we're gonna have a lot of footage to show you guys.
And the good thing is, a lot of the couples have not traveled outside
That's
to
true.
see the interior.
So
to
this is
see-
an opportunity.
right, to learn about Guyana and to see what is it they truly like about each other, and how is it that, whether they're traveling throughout the length and breadth of Guyana, doing other things,
Yeah.
whether it's kayaking or whatever it is, how they coincide, how they work together.
I think the run through
How-
the jungle or the ride through the jungle would be
Yes,
would
last
be
year
fantastic.
actually, we had a really nice couple that won, Oshani and Lee.
Yeah.
And they were really, really fun. Lee just picked Oshani up and went running through the trails. I mean,
He's huge though.
Right. I think he took this race to the altar really serious.
Yes,
So
he did.
They ran through the trails, and it was fun. Got there to Alligator Alley to paddle through. I mean, it was amazing to see them together.
That's
and
basically what we want to capture.
And so even though one person is the person that, of course, that is able to have a dream wedding and all expense paid, they still walk out feeling, I've gained something. I've learned a lot about Guyana.
Yeah.
I've learned about ourselves and so on. So the whole race to the altar and the whole wedding expo provides so much more, not just the exhibitors, but to the couples.
To the couples,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
And to the public.
Yes, and the public, of course, will definitely get to see who these 5 shortlisted couples are.
Yes.
And we're sorry we couldn't pick more, but because all of the couples, they were fantastic.
We're sorry we couldn't marry all 5.
I know.
Maybe next year we get more sponsors. Yeah.
But it was really nice and exciting.
Yeah, all right. And some of our sponsors are big sponsors.
We have quite a few. We have, of course, it's in collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism.
Yes.
We have the Guyana Tourism Authority. So we have quite a few of the private sector organizations on board. We have the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce.
We have BK International.
Yes, and King's Jewelry and so on. And this is really a collaborative effort. And to promote tourism, to promote wedding tourism, it is a collaborative approach. And we really would appreciate if we have more sponsors come on board, actually,
yes.
To join us and to see what is the objective. Think about the long-term objective of promoting the wedding tourism
in Guyana.
Right. So we have quite a number of sponsors on board as well this year, but we would certainly love to have a lot of the big companies like Courts, and even
we have Hand in Hand also.
Yes. And
we have some companies. And we have some of our exhibitors are so free willing, like, okay, what can I do? Can I give you food? Can I give you drinks? Can I bake a cake for you?
Yeah.
Just Cake says she wants to do it, and she does exciting cakes. Yes. So she's gonna donate the cake this year for the couple.
So we're looking forward to quite a number of people coming out again, as usual, to the Wedding Expo.
Yeah, it's going to be on 28th of March, 29th, that's going to be the live wedding at Duke Lodge, Roraima. That's going to be exciting. You guys come out. It's $500 to get in. You have the whole Duke Lodge to roam. You have the first floor, second floor, then you have the live wedding.
Yeah.
So it's Friday, we start at 5. You come after work, just take a browse through, come back on Saturday so you can prepare for the wedding, dressed up in your nice fancy clothes and so forth. And Sunday we have the closing.
But of course, the public will definitely be able to see more of us because they're going to be following us as a reality show. So they'll see a little bit of our point, they get to see our aerial tour, and then they'll get to see the couples on various programs. So you'll get to definitely stay in touch with us and pick your lucky couple.
Joining us is Captain Gavaya. He is the prominent person behind Wedding Expo, Roraima Airways. He's going to give us a little tidbit of what he got from the interview with the couples.
Well, I had a lot of fun.
Yes.
I mean, the interviews were actually quite entertaining for the interviewing panel because you were actually able. It was like being a fly in the wall and looking at these couples and hearing their stories and so on. And but I think you guys said it, that we really wish that we could have been able to marry all of them because all of them were winners. So we picked the 5, and tonight is February 14th, Valentine's night. So tonight at Duke Lodge they're going to be presenting these 5 couples to the media at the Valentine's dinner at Duke Lodge tonight. And but I think all of these couples were very enthusiastic. They were very nervous. They were very nervous. And in the interviews, and we're going to be showing some of the interviews in the mix of this panel discussion here, to see the real life interviews of these couples and them talking about themselves and talking with each other and how they met. And it's amazing the telephone service because a lot of them talk about actually texting each other.
Yes.
And I think Digicel had a thing called, was it Blah Blah?
Yeah. Yes. After 9.
After 9, and that Digicel actually helped bring these couples together. They connected these couples.
Correct, yes.
And if Digicel should really see this, they really should get on board because this was really
had some free promotion.
Yeah. Digicel was connecting lovers.
Correct.
Which was a good thing. But I thought that was very nice. And then obviously then we are taking them to Arrow Point. You see that tomorrow.
Correct.
And the idea behind that, when you take them to Arrow Point and you look at the activities they do at Arrow Point, it is really sometimes as when everything is going fine and you have a relationship but when you start to face challenges, then you start seeing some of the character traits coming out in people. And I think that is what Arrow Point will do.
Tell us a little about that with the kayaking. How does that
Lord. Well, there are 2 of them in a kayak. One in front and one at the back. And they have to paddle.
I think you instigated the
right.
fighting, so
No. Actually, so the one at the back is really the one that steers the kayak, and and the one in front, which is normally the man, and he believes he's the captain.
Strength, yeah.
Right.
He's his strength.
And so when they're not getting it right, he starts to accuse the woman of not steering the
properly.
kayak and so on and so on. So I actually taught the girls how to change the handle, change their hand on the paddle to smack him in his head. But that's domestic violence, and we're not promoting domestic violence. But anyway, it was good fun to see them riding and kayaking in the jungle. But more particularly is actually the Wedding Expo itself and the opportunities it creates for small businesses.
right.
And more particularly the potential of wedding tourism here in Guyana. And one of the big challenges we faced was the issue of the legislation. So Minister Irfan Ali, Hukit Nascimento, I think it was the Minister of Foreign Affairs who labeled him as the Energizer, Bunny Minister, because he got so much energy. But he is actually taking on the challenge of trying to get that legislation changed so that people would come to Guyana and get married. And you know, there are hundreds of thousands of Guyanese living all over the world, and their children are getting married, and they would love to come back home. But because they're not living here, our laws dictate they have to be here for 14 days or something like that. So we need to be, rather than going to the Dominican Republic or St. Lucia, let them come here, let them get married at Kaito Falls, let them get married at Baganara and Arrow Point and so on. But we need to change the laws. And I'm happy to say that I think the ministry and the minister and the Tourism Authority are really on board with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
What we got to try and do now is get the rest of the tourism industry, tag Kit Nascimento and his team to come on board the Wedding Expo and to promote their resorts and the things that they offer to make weddings in Guyana a really attractive thing.
Because this is not a Roraima event. This is
a Guyana event.
Right.
Well, it is in fact going to promote Guyana and give another dimension to our tourism product, which is already using. I mean, to get married, Jeff De Silva, who was actually the head of Going Best, actually got married at Kaito Falls.
Yes, I remember.
And that was amazing. We've had a lot of weddings at Arrow Point, and it is quite interesting to get married in the rainforest.
I agree.
To get married in your home country. I mean,
so there are people who actually leave Canada and go to different countries to get married. They go to St. Lucia, the Dominican Republic, but to come back to Guyana for a week and get married, I think is a wonderful experience. And we provide, there's the planes, there's the boats, there's the resort, and there are actually the facilities in the city as well.
Yeah,
we
have the complete package.
Right here at Duke Lodge, at the Pegasus, at Grand Coastal.
And the diversity too about our wedding expos, that it's so different from Jamaica, because we have Indian weddings, we have the Hindus, weddings, the Muslim weddings, and so on. We have Hebrew weddings, and so on. Actually, which is being featured in our magazine this year. Wedding
Hebrew wedding.
Yes. We're featuring the Hebrew wedding
in
our Wedding Expo magazine.
I really don't know about the Hebrew wedding story. But it's interesting because the weddings in Jamaica, when we went to the Wedding Expo in Jamaica, the Wedding Expo in Jamaica is primarily a Christian type of wedding.
Yes.
When the Wedding Expo was one color. When you came to Guyana to look at the Wedding Expo, it was an explosion of colors.
Correct.
It was actually an explosion of cultures and religion. And that is what made our Wedding Expo so interesting. And every night, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night.
We have events, yes.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, it's very nice. We have a cultural program that's planned, and we basically showcase all our local wedding dresses. You have both the Christian and the Indian. You have Muslims, Hindu. So it's really nice. We show a little bit of Chinese as well. We have lingeries. It's really a combination of colors, and it's really nice. It promotes our local designers.
Yeah.
So it gives you the opportunity to see what is the trend, what are the colors that we're using now, but also to see what is our local designers offering. So it's really, really nice. We have poems. We have this year we'll have Ryan Hoppy, who's from the Jingle competition.
Oh, really?
And yes, so he'll be singing as well.
And we also have Tacit drumming.
Right. So it's really a nice cultural program.
Well, I think for every year actually, this is now the 6th year.
Yes. Correct.
And every year we think that it's always going to be bigger than the last, but actually last year was actually quite big and quite exciting and interesting. And the actual wedding at Duke Lodge itself, where this couple, the lucky couple that are chosen, will have a wedding of their dreams. In the sense that they drive up there in a stretch limousine, white stretch limousine. They walk to the altar, and there's this amazing wedding. Yeah. And then you have, and then the reception is hosted at Duke Lodge. So it's really a dream kind of wedding come true, and the public could come and witness it as well. So I think that is That is actually very, very significant. So what we hope to do, I believe, in this short program here on Wedding Expo is to put some of the footage in here from the interviews that were
Introduce
done,
our
actually,
couples.
Yes.
and also a little bit of the footage from last year.
Right.
Yes.
Good.
So enjoy.
Thank you.